Alright, we got a short project today. We're just going to clean up this area right here. It was never overly thought out, so we're going to put some thought into it, put some plants, flowers, and we'll go on from there. The distance from here to here is 136 inches. We're going to put in 3 silver sheens, so there needs to be 4 gaps between the 3 plants. So we're going to place our silver sheen plants 34 inches on center. We'll come over here, and the second one in the back here, this one hasn't tolerated the heat this year so well, so we're going to pull that one out. Plus it's getting pretty close to the deck up there, and we'll just remove that. Same thing with the succulents. They got smashed by a basketball, and so we're going to either move those or remove those, but we'll clean this whole area up. This is California, so Lantana isn't invasive. It grows really well here and creates a lot of flowers, so it'll look good when we're done. You want to pull down the plant? Yeah. Use your muscles. Pull it really hard.
Pull down.
Pull. Push. There it goes. Okay, do the next one.
That's more on the inside. What is that? I don't know.
I didn't notice the difference.
What is that? It got on my face.
Okay, do the next one, bud.
You okay? Yeah. Always.
All right, we got our first one in. 1 down, 2 to go.
There's a spider right there. Get him.
Check out, there's the inside. It looks more like a grass than a tree, so that's pretty exciting. Kind of like a palm tree, I guess, in that regard. Because it was so wet inside, it swelled up right as I was starting to cut it, and it made it really hard to cut through. It pinched the saw blade something fierce.
What did you do?
Okay, we got them all planted. We have our 3 silver sheen and then our 4 lantana just around over here. We're gonna come back through and give them all a good soak after the stressful replanting, and we'll come back tomorrow and fix the irrigation tubing. Punching holes in warm irrigation tubing doesn't work well, so we'll just let it cool down overnight. Okay, normally we just blow this down, but because we got the sweeper, might as well use the sweeper. Alright, we're back in the morning. The drip tubing is all cool, so it's ready to be reformed into shape, and we'll put new drippers in. So we're going to come around and just readjust the tubing to go out and water those lantana, and then we'll come here into this one, and then we'll put drips all the way through our silver sheen, and we'll be all done here. The other thing that I had noticed over here, there's a little bit of a hole and there's a wet spot that forms when the sprinkler comes on. This is where the drip tubing attaches, but eventually those pieces fail, so we'll just replace that with a new one, and then we can go through in detail how that whole system works and attaches to the existing PVC. Alright, we got our first little section done. So we need to put in a goof plug, they're called. It's essentially once you cut a hole in the tube, install a button dripper like this, or install a 1/4 inch fitting like this, it creates a hole in the irrigation tube, and so there's just a plug that fits into both of these to plug them up, because we no longer want water to come out of these holes. There coincidentally was already a button dripper here from the previous setup. It comes around, there's another button dripper here from the previous setup. Because I had them available, I used the stake. Normally I just put rocks on them, and then after a couple weeks the tubing readjusts to its kind of new shape, and you don't really have to stake it down all that well. So we'll put a button dripper here, we'll plug this hole here, plug this hole here. So at this first silver sheen, there's already a button dripper, and there's a button dripper here. There's 2 of them actually, and so we'll just probably plug one of those and use the other one. And then the previous setup has it ending here, so we'll just put an inline connector so we can attach more drip tubing to it. It's just a slip fit straight connector, and so should be done pretty quickly here. All right, we put in a new drip here. Here's the figure 8 end closure. So it just folds back over and then feeds through, and then this pinch right here is enough to stop the water flow. Then we made a little bit of a berm right here to prevent the water from going straight down to the drain, because that's not very great for irrigation and it's wasteful. So the dripper should spit water into this general region, and this is a 1 gallon per hour dripper. Typically the irrigation only runs for 5 or 6 minutes. So really it's only like a cup full of water that we're gonna dump. And so this berm right here doesn't really need to be all that big. It just needs to keep it from rolling straight down the unsaturated dirt and feed this plant here. Otherwise, we got all the other drippers installed. Okay, so the part that we typically see fail is this gray pressure reducer. For whatever reason, it develops a leak in the barrel section. Kind of what we see here. This is the existing PVC irrigation pipe. There's a screw fit connection here. And then normally there was a sprinkler riser that came here. When converting to drip, it's just a matter of putting in the threaded reducer, which has the 3/4 pipe thread, which fits the pressure reducer. And then that screws on to the tubing adapter piece, and then this tubing just slips in. We'll cover that in a lot more detail in a different video, but for right now we're just going to change out this gray piece and we're going to test the system. Okay, we have our new pressure reducer installed. Now we're going to leave this uncovered while we test the system, make sure that it's not leaking anymore. And it might be that it's leaking through here, and we'll just change that piece if we have to. All right, check it out. It's leaking right here between the angle fitting and the thread connection here. Here's what we talked about, the dripper coming out, and it just sprays water here, and it's leaving a little bit of extra water that doesn't go into the dirt immediately, and so our little berm right here is going to keep it all in place. We're all finished up here, all cleaned up, everything works properly. We fixed all of our leaks. We'll see if this lantana gets enough sun. They do really well in a lot of sun, and this area doesn't get a ton of sun. These other two over here, and possibly this one, this should get more than enough sun to grow huge. So we'll see how that goes. The silver sheen does like to see sun. This area does get afternoon sun, so we'll see if that's enough. There's other silver sheen in the yard that doesn't get a ton of sun and is doing fine, so I'm not that worried about these.